There are so many toxins and chemicals in our environment, and a lot of us make poor lifestyle decisions, and that's just a few factors for why you could be one of the 1 in 8 couples that suffer through infertility. We just happen to be one of those couples, and y'all, there are so many important steps to take before you start your infertility journey that I wish I knew ahead of time, so I'm sharing all of them with you today. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we're the Giovanonis, and in this video, I'm going to be walking you guys through a step-by-step process of how to start your infertility journey. We'll be covering everything from initial tests all the way to more advanced procedures, all based off of our own infertility journey. But first things first, we got to get this out the way, and I need y'all all to say it with me. Ready? Infertility can affect both men and women. Okay, it's not just all on the woman, y'all. If you ever watched the show Friends, do y'all remember when Monica and Chandler were going through their infertility journey? When they got diagnosed, we found out that Chandler suffered from low sperm motility, and Monica's uterus was considered inhospitable for implantation. So yeah, it could go both ways, y'all. So men, I'm gonna need y'all to pay attention too. I'll also be sharing our own personal experience with infertility while also providing you essential information to help guide you through each step. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the treatment steps for infertility and what you can expect. Plus, as a bonus, we'll share some helpful emotional support tips that helped us along the way. So if you're struggling with infertility, know somebody who is, or you're just plain curious, keep watching. So what is infertility? In the medical world, it's defined as the inability to get pregnant after a year of unprotected regular intercourse, and that's for women just under 35 years of age. For women 35 years of age and older, that's 6 months. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I really want a kid very badly, and I've been waiting for 6 months, forget that. If I've been waiting for 3 months, I feel like that's so long. So half a year, that's a lot. Let me tell you what I did. When you decide to go and see a doctor for infertility, one of the first 2 things they're going to ask you is how old are you and how long you've been trying. Okay, remember that. Say you're 33 years old, about to turn 34 in like 4 or 5 months. And then you tell them you've been having unprotected regular intercourse for just 2 months trying to have a baby. Where does that put you? Some doctors are so anal that they will have you wait that extra 10 months to keep trying just before they can even treat you. And y'all, I don't condone lying. But I was with my boyfriend at the time, turned husband, for 7 years at that point. We weren't waiting. Let's just say we got treatment right away. We're going to take that piece of information how we see fit. And let me quickly note, I'm not sure how everybody else's insurance works, but with mine, you had to go through your primary care first. And then my primary care doctor sent me over to my OB. And then my OB got me the specialist. So boom, now we're cleared. She refers us to a specialist, and that specialist is called a reproductive endocrinologist. And that's the doctor you ultimately want to be dealing with because they're specially trained to diagnose and treat infertility. And I gotta say, you know how shocked we were that we started the testing phase so early? In lots of cases, it takes literally a few weeks to even see a specialist, let alone start testing. And in our case, we started during COVID. And y'all, the wait list to see certain reproductive endocrinologists during the time of COVID was insane. We didn't even get our first choice. I wanted a female that I did extensive research on, but I went with the second choice because he was available right away. And so yeah, we'll get into that. Now, here's a very important tip for y'all. Before going into your meeting with your specialist, you need to gather information. I highly suggest you prepare materials to bring to your appointment, like medical records of both you and your partner, insurance information, and a notebook to take notes. Your doctor is going to want to review your medical history and any prior treatments you might have had. And I cannot stress this enough, y'all. Deciding to have a child is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make in your life. So don't skip on the information. Even if it's information that you don't think is pertaining to your fertility, but you're not sure, let them know, let them make the call. Let's get into the common causes of infertility. There's a lot of potential causes, but let's stick to the more common ones that they find in men. That can include sperm production, sperm motility, and that deals with the ability of the sperm to move in the right direction and efficiently. And then you have sperm morphology. Sperm morphology deals with the size and shape of the sperm. Now, for women, you have common causes like ovulation problems. And ovulation has to happen every month. That's your body's ability to release an egg each month. And if it's not doing that, there's no egg coming out to meet the sperm in the first place to make a baby. Another common cause of infertility are blocked fallopian tubes, and that can range from anything like buildup of scar tissue in there, fibroids blocking the path. It's a lot, y'all. And then we got uterine abnormalities, endometriosis. That's when tissue's growing outside of the uterus in places it shouldn't be. Women have got a lot going on in our bodies, okay? And last but not least, sometimes there's just no specific cause found. And that's what they call unexplained infertility. In my words, I say they did all this testing and everything and they still couldn't find out what was wrong. That's what I call it. They don't know what's going on with you. And of course, that's exactly what we were diagnosed with, unexplained infertility. Sometimes I don't know if it's better to know or not know. To this day, I still don't know if I would have been more satisfied knowing something was wrong and then tackling that issue, or if it was a good thing that they couldn't find anything. I digress. We are now at the meat and potatoes of this whole infertility journey, y'all. After assessing your situation and taking in your history, your doctor is going to order a series of tests. And it doesn't matter whether your situation is very minor or very major, these tests have to get done. That includes a blood test, which y'all, they test for almost everything. We had full panel workups done, both me and my husband. It's both you and your partner, which is important. I'm not going to get into everything they test, but I know the important ones: STDs, hormone levels, all that. The other two are going to be a pelvic ultrasound, very important for the ladies, no, and a semen analysis. Very important for the men, no? All right. Now, we went through a series of tests, and the first one I'm going to tell you guys about is the HSG. That's for the women. Hysterosalpingogram. Ooh, I sound like a doctor. So an HSG is performed to check for any blockages in your fallopian tubes. And let me tell y'all the stories with this test, right? You could have blocked tubes going into this test, and then after, they're cleared because of the dye that they push in there. So once you're in there, take some Tylenol before you go, or ibuprofen or whatever. I forgot what I took. I think it was ibuprofen, because the cramps that this dye gives you when they inject it, whoo, Lord have mercy. It's not as bad as people say it is, though, in my opinion. And I have a low pain tolerance. Like, I don't like pain. It just wasn't comfortable. It wasn't comfortable. So when they push that dye, sometimes that dye just clears whatever was blocking. So, and then you never know, that could have been the reason why you weren't getting pregnant. And then all of a sudden, the next cycle, boom, you're pregnant. There's a lot of stories out there. So yeah, they start with an HSG. They started with an HSG for us. They found my tubes were cleared. So on to the next. The hormone levels that they check for. We're not going to talk about all of them because y'all, especially us ladies, we got so much hormones. But let's talk about the FSH levels. So FSH is follicle stimulating hormone, and those levels are checked because they pretty much evaluate your egg supply and ovarian function. Now, when your FSH levels are on the high side, that can indicate a low egg supply, making pregnancy may be difficult. And then on the flip side, when your FSH levels are on the low side, that can indicate good ovarian function. Now, moving on to the fellas. You're going to have multiple semen analysis done so that they can check your sperm count and quality. Multiple of them are done over a period of, a couple months, I believe, just so that they can have a more reliable assessment of what's going on down there. All these tests that I just named and talked about, they are, when I tell you, so important before they start anything minor or major in terms of procedures. Very important. So take them seriously. You have made it this far. Treatment options, y'all. So at this point, your doctor has run all the little nitty gritty tests and they've come up with a plan for you and your spouse. So depending on your diagnosis, you're either going to start on the minor scale of things or more major procedure wise like IVF. In our case, we started with IUI. Don't get that confused with IVF. IUI is intrauterine insemination, and IVF is in-vitro fertilization. With IUI, sperm is injected directly into the uterus while you're ovulating, whereas IVF, you have fertilization that occurs in a lab outside of the body. And IVF is way more costly and way more taxing on your body. Now, if you want to learn more about our IUI procedure, we did it 3 times. And y'all, it's a fascinating procedure. Like, I highly suggest you watch this video. I'm gonna link it up here. Yes, I'm gonna link it right here so that by the time I do make that video, you'll be able to click it and watch it. It's a very simple process when you think about it. It like involves washing the sperm before it being injected. It's a whole thing. So definitely look out for that. So like I said earlier, IVF is so much more complex than any of the other procedures you might go through, and so much more emotionally taxing. And that's why, in my opinion, in this whole infertility journey, once you reach to having to actually go through IVF, that's where you're probably gonna want to hop into those emotional support tools. And that can either be with your spouse, partner, or whoever you're doing this with, or outside influences. So in my case, my husband's great. He's awesome. I had that great emotional support with him, but I'm the type of person who loves being able to learn and understand stuff from other women who's physically going through the same exact stuff that I am. And that's when I found the Facebook group for, what's the name? Black Women Trying to Conceive. I'm the co-admin now. I don't remember the name, but yeah, I'll link it here. But it's for women of color to get together and pretty much like we tell our stories, what we're going through. Like when I tell you that was such a huge help, because now I'm getting insight on women who actually been through it or is currently going through it just like me. So like you have this whole different connection than with your spouse. So y'all find the emotional support wherever you can get it. There's communities out there, Facebook groups, other people that you might know in like real life who's actually gone through it. So yeah, emotional support is a huge thing. You do not have to be alone on this journey. So find your tribe and do what works for you and your partner. I really hope this guide has brought you some valuable insights into infertility and how to start your journey. And if you suspect you might be dealing with infertility, please don't hesitate to seek professional help. Even if you're not ready for children yet, but you think you might want some in the future, I think it's always a good idea to find out what you're working with before it's too late. Now, if you have any questions or want to share your experience, please comment down below. I love hearing people's stories. We are here to support each other, so leave a thumbs up. Please hit that notification bell because you do not want to miss these next few videos that I have coming out. When I tell you our infertility stories are wild, like should be on a TV show wild, you do not want to miss these next few videos. Until next time.